All right, guys. So it is April 26th. It is Avengers Endgame opening day. Some people went last night, such as me. Some people went today, such as this guy. So we're here to talk about it. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't worry about it. We won't spoil it for you yet. But we do want to talk about it. It's probably the biggest movie of the year. One of the biggest movies.
I'll say biggest movie of all time, honestly.
Well, it is. It's 11. It's a culmination of 11 years of Marvel movies. 22 films. Started in 2008 with Iron Man, all the way to today.
Yep.
So there's a lot to cover. It's a big movie. It's over 3 hours long. First thing I will say though, it doesn't feel like it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, the pacing was actually surprisingly really well done. Like, it didn't feel like it dragged on for any particular scene, at least not too long for me. And like by the time I realized it, it was like, oh my god, it's like 2.5 hours in. Like, here's my check. And yeah, I thought it was a pretty good amount of action with character development. I thought it fit what the narrative was supposed to tell you, you know?
Which is good coming from you, since you had just worked a full shift of overnight work. And then you basically went right from work almost a few hours later, went to the movies.
Yep.
So that just goes to show you, I mean, the pace is there. It has a good pace. It has a good flow. It's a good movie. Definitely check it out, especially if you're a fan of these movies. If you've invested your time over the past 11 years, at any point, whether you just started watching them 2 years ago or you've been with them since day one, this movie is it just works. There's so many characters, there's so many storylines that it doesn't seem like it should work on that.
It seems like it could be easily, like, you know, people can be lost in their shuffle, very convolvulated. But I think that they did a fantastic job kind of balancing out all the different storylines and characters, like you said. And the other thing that I really did enjoy too is, like, not only did they have a bunch of characters, they also had a lot of character development too. You know, it's kind of hard, especially with however many superheroes and villains and other random side characters in the Marvel Universe. It's kind of easy to get lost in the shuffle. But I think they did a really fantastic job.
I feel like we were just talking before we started making this video, I feel like it's almost necessary to have seen every movie to get the full impact of it. Now, someone who's watched every movie in the MCU multiple times, I think I might have loved it a little bit more than someone who was more of a casual viewer, or in your case, who's only seen,
like, I would say probably like 60 to 70% of the films.
Yeah, because you said you haven't seen the first two Captain Americas.
That's correct.
Which there are some inside jokes to the second Captain America that you probably didn't get.
Probably not.
What else hadn't you seen?
I hadn't seen the first two Thors either. So, like, when...
There's like I said, there's callbacks to all these. There's callbacks to all these movies. So the person who has invested that time, they'll get a little bit more out of it. But like I said, it's not. I don't think it's necessary to have seen all of them. Mm-hmm. As long as you have a basic understanding of what this universe is, I think you'll be able to still enjoy this movie. I think it's a little more leaning towards fan service. Like, you can't be someone just walking up the street and be like, "Oh, Avengers Endgame, what's that?"
Yeah,
and check it out. It's not you might enjoy it just for the spectacle of it, but you won't get the full impact of it. Because you're
right. There are some scenes, like, for example, based upon my favorite characters, they did, like, utilize some parts really well. That if I didn't watch, like, for example, if I didn't watch Infinity War, I wouldn't have understand some of the jokes, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, it's a great movie, especially for the fans, you know? There's just a lot of content there, a lot of callbacks.
There is. I almost feel like they could have made another movie.
I think so as well.
There's so much story, and like we said, so many characters that they're putting into this one movie that they almost could have spread it over another film.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think we're both saying go see Endgame. It's definitely worth a watch.
Now, I do have a question for you, Mario.
Yes, ask away.
All right. What did you like more, Infinity War or Endgame, and why?
I think I liked Infinity War a little better, but that's simply because it was more of a streamlined story.
Yeah.
Whereas, like we said in Endgame, they're trying to cram. I don't want to say cram, but they're fitting in so many different storylines, and they're finishing up a lot of these storylines.
Yeah.
And there's so much that they're trying to do. It doesn't have that flow that Infinity War has.
Yes.
But it's an enjoyable movie. But I do think I like Infinity War a little better. What about you?
I am in the same boat. Infinity War. I like the humor a little bit more with Infinity War. I'm not saying that Endgame didn't have humor. It had a lot of humor in it, but it wasn't like from characters I was in particularly like attached like I was in Infinity War. But I think
there's still humor though in Endgame.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not funny. I'm just saying there's just it's spread out a little bit more evenly, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not like from characters that may not necessarily be as like comedic compared to like some other ones, you know?
Yes. Comparing the two, Infinity War and Endgame, I laughed in both movies.
Yeah.
I cried in both movies.
I did too.
Every time I watch Infinity War, I just watched Infinity War Wednesday night, so to lead into my showing of it on Thursday night for Endgame. Every time I watched Infinity War, which since it came out, I've probably seen it, I don't know, a handful of times, 5-6 times. I cry each time I watch it.
Is it? Can we talk about Infinity War?
I think Infinity War has been out for a year. We can spoil
Is it
Infinity
the
War.
whole Mr. Stark? I don't feel so good.
That gets me every time. For a good 2 weeks after I first saw Infinity War, I would just think of that scene and I would start tearing up.
Honestly, like that in that movie, the Gamora, when Thanos sacrificed Gamora,
made me cry too.
Yeah.
And then when Thanos, when he stabs Iron Man in the fight on Titan.
Oh yeah.
That still makes me tear up, even though I know he lived, he's alive at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Just seeing that, it has that impact on me. But that's because you've been with these characters for 11 years
you're
through
invested.
multiple movies. You're invested. You have an emotional connection to these characters. And that's what makes these Marvel movies work. It's not just the spectacle of them. It's not just the action. It's the characters.
Yeah.
You love each one. So overall, what would your rating of an Endgame be?
Like out of 5 or 10?
Let's go out of 5.
Say like a 4.8. 4.8.
4.8?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. What about you?
You give it a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5. Oh, you give it a B minus.
4 out of 5 is still pretty damn good.
That's a B right there.
Fine, 4.3.
So it's a solid B. I'm just saying. I'm just using logic to your what's what I want to say to your ranking system. So don't be upset with me. Be upset with yourself. Definitely watch it. Let us know what you guys think.
Yes. And it seems like the whole world is watching this movie.
Exactly.
It's breaking records all over the place. It set the record for biggest opening night, preview night, Thursday night. It made 60 million last night alone.
Damn.
The record before that was 57 million for The Force Awakens. And then it set, I think today they're projecting it to make about 140 million to just today. And would be a new record. They're saying it might make anywhere from 300 to 330 million for this weekend, which would be a new record.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They're even saying it might reach 1 billion worldwide by Monday. That's crazy.
That's insane.
And
there hasn't been a movie like this.
The only thing
before.
you can compare them to are the Star Wars films. The level of hype for these movies is off the charts.
It's unmatched.
It's just amazing that it works.
Yes.
They've set a blueprint, Marvel did, with the universe they've created with this movie, with these movies, that people are trying to replicate. You look at the DC movies, what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
They're at that point now where people are trying to replicate what they did, but
I don't think
they caught lightning in a bottle.
Yes.
With everything they've done. With the talent they had as actors and actresses, with directors,
yes,
with writers, with everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing that it all worked. So I think that's basically it for our non-spoiler review of Endgame. Overall, just go check it out.
Yes.
It's definitely worth a watch. If you can find tickets.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to sit in the front 2 rows.
Oh, hell no.
You don't want
to
to
be
that.
comfortable.
Exactly.
And also, as a tip, if you're going to watch it, or obviously you're going to watch it, is remember it's a long ass movie, it's 3 hours. So make sure you take a bathroom break in the trailers or before. Don't drink too much liquids.
Or just do what I did and just stuff a puppy pad down your pants.
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
I was like, I want to be surprised, Mario. But
I stuffed 2 puppy pads.
2 puppy pads. There you go. Swap it out. But yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, definitely use the restroom before. If you know you have a small bladder, don't get the big drink or don't order too many refills. Because you don't want to miss any of it. And even though I've seen articles where there's like an app you can get that tells you when to pee.
The flush app?
Yeah. Watch it uninterrupted the first time, and then when you decide to go see it again, you know when you can take a break. When you can go, take your pee break. But first time, sit there, plan ahead, be prepared, enjoy the movie.
Absolutely.